Now, I've been working on a vendor side throughout my lit support career, but on occasion I had to work with other outside vendors as well. I had to send either overflow work or work that the company I worked for didn't do. And today I want to share some of the craziest responses I got from other vendors that pretty much made my jaw drop. So my first interesting experience was dealing with a data entry company. So we sent some data out and it didn't need like a lit support coding, but more like a kind of a dumb data entry, just sit there and retype things. And so I prepped the data for them, sent it out to them, and in a few days they came back to me with a big text file, like a DAT file with a few million records. So what I did, I loaded into like Microsoft Access and I did like a scroll up and down. You know how you just grab the scroll bar and just kind of quickly drag it up and down to see if anything jumps out, anything out of ordinary. And of course it did. So I found like a couple of records that were different lengths. There was something off about them. You could just spot them right away. So what I did is I called up that company and say, hey, great job, you got everything done, but I'm noticing a couple of little things here, it just seems a little off. Do you think you could take a look at it, record number so-and-so and so-and-so, not a big deal, we got time, just fix it up and send me back a new file and I'll reload it and we'll be all good. And the lady on the phone, she looks at it like, all right, the record number, this and that, okay, I got it, Okay, I see. So what do you want? I'm like, yeah, just send me a new file when, just take care of it. And she goes, no, we're not gonna do that. I'm like, wait, what? She's like, I send you this many records, you found 2 errors, we have 99.97% accuracy guaranteed. Considering those mistakes, that file you received fits the requirements of our accuracy. So we will not be fixing it. This is good as is. And that of course made me go, what? What do you mean? They're mistakes. You're like, yeah, no, but that's fine. We have a specific accuracy that we guarantee to you. We are meeting that requirements. Therefore, the job is correct. At that point, I didn't even know what to say, but it's like the craziest thing where you found like the obvious problems and someone's like, yeah, no, that's fine. This is the percentage and that's it. I actually had to go in and fix it myself. I couldn't tell my client that's what it is. I just looked up those images and I fixed up those 2 records and I passed it on to a client, but that's something I never dealt with where someone just says like, oh yeah, no, that falls within our quality control standard and you're done. I guess it goes along with like service providers where they give you like 99.9 something percent uptime. I just never seen this apply in like a data situation. Now the next story deals with a vendor who absolutely hated fixing things. Whenever they screw up something, they would always come up with this ridiculous time frame to fix something. Like they had problem with fields being shifted and we were like, hey, this is not how the DAT file is supposed to be. And we were loading data into concordance at that time, so the field order actually mattered. Otherwise, it was just loaded into the wrong place. And they would always say like, okay, I see. Okay, we'll send you a replacement in 7 days. And we were like, what? 7 days? It's just a problem with the DAT file. Can't you just, no, we have to queue it up again for the process. It has to export, it has to do its thing. It's gonna be about 7 days and we have to put it on a hard drive and ship it to you. We're like, what? And the issue wasn't just with DAT files, there were problems with images or CR, but anytime we bring up any kind of problem, you would be like, yeah, it's gonna take forever. They just like make up a random time frame that it's gonna take them forever to fix it. And of course, what the project manager in our company would do, they would turn to me and use the most dreaded words ever. Well, can't you just fix it yourself? And I'll be like, well, sometimes I can and sometimes I cannot. Sometimes it'll take hours to fix certain problem, and then you have to bill somebody for it, right? Who's going to be paying for fixing it? And other times when they had problem with delimiters, like somebody search and replace delimiters and screw it up, so fields got all mushed together. Well, in that case, I can't fix it. And so that's how that vendor was trying to get away with things, is they would just come up with the stupid time frames and then all the fixing would be pushed on me because apparently I could do it quicker. And as you can imagine, that's something that made me really, really angry. I just wasn't gonna stand for that, so what I did is I started a big Excel, like a Word document for errors and Excel for field list, and I started keeping track of all the fields in that file that was sent to us, what order they came in, if things were messed up, and I put together like a big report after like 3 or 4 months and send it over to project managers and to like the bosses, the higher ups. And once they had a chance to kind of look at it, we pretty much started phasing that vendor out, because that just wasn't the right thing to do. You can't send somebody garbage work and then tell them like it's gonna take a week to fix like the simplest thing ever. All right, the last vendor I want to talk about used to do processing for us. And they had this really smart guy who built a processing system, but the people who were operating weren't at the same skill level as the person who developed it. And because of that, we had a lot of problems troubleshooting different types of data. So one time I get this extracted text from a number of documents that looks really weird. If you ever tried to open like a Word document using TextPad, you've seen where you could like see the text, but there is a space between every character. It looks really weird. And the reason for that is because that's a Unicode text. And in Unicode, every character takes up space of 2 characters, basically. So that's how it works. And extracted text we received contained that kind of uninterpreted Unicode text. So I promptly call up the company and I say, hey guys, I'm seeing a problem with extracted text. Something doesn't look right. Tell them the doc ID, all that stuff, multiple doc IDs. They go away, they check things, call me back like, yeah, so we checked, everything is good. I'm like, what do you mean it's good? It's clearly it's bad. Like, no, we checked the settings for the application and everything was set up correctly for processing, so your text should be good. I'm like, what do you mean my text should be good? Take a look at the text and you'll see that it's wrong. And they're arguing with me like, no, because they configured the software that the text is good without actually looking at it. But, you know, it gets worse. After a few minutes of arguing back and forth, they finally look at it. I think maybe I done a screen share or something. And the guy's like looking at it, it's like, yeah, no, it looks fine. I can read it. I can read. This is okay. I'm like, dude, but you can't search for it. If I type a word in the search box, it's not going to show up. And he's arguing with me like, nah, you know what? That just looks like it's a different font. That's fine. Don't worry about it. This vendor caused me so much stress. I cannot even tell you. It's not even funny. I was going absolutely nuts. The incompetence level, the just refusing to look at problems, refusing to acknowledge the problems when they're there, it was just horrendous. And again, it's one of the vendors that we had to break a relationship with, because, you know, obviously you can't work with someone who is putting you in that position, and you're always trying to defend yourself, and they're just denying everything blindly and saying, no, don't worry, it's gonna be fine. It was really bad. So those have been my craziest responses from outside vendors. If you have any, please put them in the comment section below. I would like to read all about that. Don't forget to follow on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next video.